Here is you and your ex-husband. Now look at the two pictures in contrast. Ian Garry and your ex-husband on the right. You and your ex-husband on the left. I don't understand. Like, how could this be mysterious? Why people find this story salacious? Yes, you read that title right. Ian Garry and his wife have filed a defamation charge against a YouTuber, which has been enforced by YouTube. Also, she's responded to Sean Strickland. We're going to go through all that. I just want to tell you all the things that are in this video in advance because it ended up being kind of long. And then I also found some very interesting information about her previous marriage that I'm going to share with you guys with images to support. So buckle up and now watch the video. Now, I just want to preface this video by saying I think Ian Garry is going to be a world champion and a dominant world champion, which is probably the only thing that he cares about. But now we're rolling in the dirt when it comes to their marriage and people talking about it and all this new information that's coming out. And so I'm going to talk about that because I think I probably have some pretty valuable insight for both viewers and for Ian Garry and Layla Ann-Lee. But first, another small note. The topic here is going to be about defamation because that is what's being threatened all over the place. You're defaming me. I'm going to sue you. I'm filing charges with YouTube. I'm doing all this defamation. Okay? We're going to talk about defamation. But you're doing this coming off of a fight. I'm talking to you, Layla Ann-Lee. And no offense, Ian, I'm talking to you also. I don't mean to that's actually really rude to talk to a guy's wife around them. So I'm talking to both Ian and Layla Ann-Lee. So Ian, actually, your wife is filing defamation charges against people because they are pointing out facts on the internet. You, in your last fight, while promoting the fight, took a thing out of context and painted a career American military hero as a child abuser. Okay? That's what you did. And that's fine. I think it's deplorable. Certain things you don't do. You don't call a guy a child abuser if he's not actually a child abuser. As I just stated, I think that you are headed to the top of the mountain because you're the kind of crazy that leads to greatness. That was crazy. You turned him into a child abuser in your head, actually made yourself believe it. You took a comment out of context from an older veteran making the comment that you are insanely young compared to him. He compared you to a child and that you put a whooping on a child. And instead of understanding what he was saying, you pretended that he's a person who beats up kids. He's just trash talking. Super respectful guy. Everyone loves Neil Magny. You turned him into a child abuser in your head. And so now we're going to talk about defamation. Your wife is you. I know you've only been married for a year or two, whatever. I've been married for 15 years, okay? I know some things about this. I have 3 kids. Your wife is you. She starts talking defamation. Everybody's going to go like this. Well, what about what Ian said about Neil Magny? Is that defamation? And they'll be right to do that. Defamation of character is defined as a false statement of fact that causes the victim some kind of harm. I wonder what the most important word in that sentence is as it relates to new defamation charges being filed by Layla Ann-Lee and Ian Garry. I think most likely it would be the false part. And if you're watching my content right now and you have not subscribed yet, that's defamation. And so you don't want to be on the wrong side of some kind of defamation lawsuit that I file against all the people who constantly watch my content and don't ever subscribe because it hurts my feelings so much that I'm going to call it defamation. I'll find all of you. So just subscribe. I'll love you for it. And yes, you heard that correctly. They are no longer threatening defamation charges. They have filed one against a YouTube creator who has now had his content blocked. Okay? If you think I'm making that up, there you go. This actually happened. They filed a defamation charge with YouTube against Red Pill MMA, and he got his content blocked in the UK. Now, there's a whole other thing to talk about there, why the UK blocked it, because obviously the defamation claim was a global claim, and YouTube only blocked it in the UK. Why do you think that is? It's because of the new content laws that the UK passed, almost certainly. According to those laws and the hate speech stuff, they have to block it in the UK just because of the claim itself, whereby YouTube, when they reviewed it, I'm sure, reviewed it and saw that the missing component was the false part, okay? Opinions are not defamation. It doesn't matter because I'm actually going to be fair to Ian Garry and his wife today. I'm not here to just slam them. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of information. Someone sent me an article that showed their her and her ex-husband's original wedding and all the wedding pictures and how they have matching tattoos and all this stuff. And it's like, you can't at least look at this and then look at a photo of Ian Garry with her ex-husband together and just kind of go, I'm just trying to give everyone like a visual representation of what the situation actually is. Defamation is not me going to a website that you put on the internet that is showing you and your ex-husband's wedding and you talking about how excited you are and then pictures of you guys kissing and all that. Like, that's not defamation. You put that on the internet. Now, is there anything wrong with them being on the internet? Of course not. But I want to put you guys in the shoes of our first subject of the evaluation, which is Sean Strickland. Now, let's say hypothetically that Sean Strickland just found out that your ex-husband lives with you and Ian, and then he went on the internet and he found this picture. What do you think? Like, put yourself in his brain. Everybody doesn't think like you. What do you think he's going to think about this? This guy right here is living in your house? So this dude, when Ian Garry travels, is in the house with you. That's not defamation. That's people drawing conclusions that may not be accurate, you know? But so what we're going to do now, and I'm going to show you guys the rest of those pictures later and go through the entire article that accompanies that because it just seems like relevant context. And again, it just is what it is. It's there. It's relevant because it's there. So let's go to the Sean Strickland portion though, and we will go from there. Because Sean Strickland obviously is the reason that all of this got conjured up. So really quick, we're going to recap exactly what he said, and then we're going to go through Layla Ann-Lee's response, which was public, and she got a lot of responses to her response. Let's watch.
Guys, I never talk about anybody's spouses, but this shit ain't right. It ain't fucking right. I gotta talk about it. Ian Garry, I remember when I met you, dude. It was in New York. You were this fine-ass girl. She had the little nipple coverings. We all fucking seen it, right? Everybody fucking seen it. But I remember thinking to myself, there ain't something right about that girl. There's something about that woman that ain't fucking right. The way she walked, the way she looked, the way she talked, I knew it. And now I'm finding out you're 26, she's fucking 40, the ex-fucking husband lives with you, you took the last name. Motherfucker, she wrote a book on how to be a wag. I didn't know what a wag was until now, dude. This shit ain't right, dude. She's a succubus. You gotta run away, bro. Hot girls are a dime a dozen. We'll get you one, we'll get you ring girls, we'll get you two at the same time, bro. You gotta pull the ripcord, man. It ain't fucking right, my friend. You gotta pull that fucking ripcord. I'm here for you. The MMA Community's here for you. Do the right things, Ian Garry. Fucking pull that fucking ripcord.
All right, so yeah. I want to pause it right there, and then we're gonna go through her comment, and then we're also, if I didn't allude to this yet, we're gonna go through her DMs, Ian Garry's DMs to Sean Strickland, and that's going to illuminate a lot of what's going on here and who's actually driving this ship as it relates to the responses to this. Okay, so first of all Sean Strickland said right there was what the Neanderthal brain interpreted all those facts, just like mine. Okay, remember what I said yesterday on my video? When I heard that she wrote the book about being a wag, and then I heard that the ex-husband lives with them, I told you guys I couldn't post the video that I talked for 8 straight minutes about that before even looking into a single fact. It's unpostable. It is unpostable. It's hilarious, but it's not an unreasonable, it's like not an unreasonable conclusion to draw from those facts, okay? That doesn't mean that it's true. So here's what Layla Ann-Lee said though. Sean, I've only heard the first few lines and I switched it off. You've already spread the 3 total lies. I've sent you a DM and trying to contact you so you know you're causing a snowball effect now on a lie that's causing a serious volume of harassment towards me. Have all the opinions you wish. You can't make up stories. I am not surprised you believe everything you read, but I'm shocked you're posting this without understanding consequence. Okay, so that's a threat. Okay, that's a threat, which is her continuing thing that she's doing. She is threatening to sue people. That's a lawsuit threat, obviously. All right. Sean Strickland stated an opinion. That's all he did right there. Okay. Is she, which part's false? Her age? Like what, he got her age wrong by a year or something like that? What else? The ex-husband's is the ex-husband not living there? That's relevant. I mean, for sure, that's relevant. If the ex-husband doesn't actually live with them, that's relevant. But I'm pretty sure that's been verified, that he travels with them and essentially lives with them, right? So missing context is not false story. If there is a falsehood here, that's what she should be commenting. Not just saying you don't understand the consequences of what you're doing. Okay? The lawsuit thing is frivolous. It's dumb. It's dumb. You're just going to, because all that's going to happen is Sean Strickland will fight it and he'll win. Or you could crush the finances of a small YouTuber or an up-and-coming YouTuber who may or may not have the resources to defend the lawsuit. You don't know. I mean, I'll tell you in advance, I do. I have plenty of resources to defend against defamation. I'm not defaming you, though. I'm just not defaming you. I have more experience with threats and actual lawsuits than I wish that I did, okay? Nonetheless, you are not handling this correctly. This is not the right way to handle this. It's just not, dude. And here's the other thing. So moving on to the second portion of this, which is Sean Strickland's response after getting DM'd by Ian Garry, which if you guys have not figured out, Ian Garry didn't write those DMs. She did, obviously. Now, before we look at the DMs that Ian Garry sent to Sean Strickland, let's look at the message that I do believe Ian Garry sent, which was to MMA Guru, which was, chill, you just made a 20-minute response to a clip that wasn't even about you. Sorry, bro. This is how much Ian Garry cares about all of this. He doesn't care. This is not his fight. Ian Garry wants to be a world champion. He is not getting caught up in the dirt. Every time that they do a video responding to this stuff, who is also in the video? It's his wife. Now, I understand she's the one being attacked, but this is Ian. I mean, Ian Garry is too. He's being attacked as like some cuck simp idiot that's just getting taken advantage of. This is how much he cares. Chill, bro. You made a 20-minute response to a clip that wasn't even about you. That's him, okay? That's how Ian Garry sounds when speaking on the internet. I am pretty confident that's him. Compare it now to this. Now, first, Sean Strickland says, you put a man's mugshot on a shirt to shame him, and then you say you're going to sue me. Learn how to be a fucking man. Were you born without a ball sack, or did your wife remove them? Coward. Utter fucking coward. So here are the DMs between them. So this came from Ian Garry's account. To spread it from the source, it's not true, then you're partaking in harassment and defamation of character. Smart move would be to take it down. Now we're going to compare this to what she said in her comment that was from her account, which is this. Sean, I've only heard the first few lines and switched it off. You've already spread these total lies. I've sent you a DM trying to contact you so you know you're causing a snowball effect now on a lie that's causing serious volume of harassment towards me. Have all the opinion you wish. You can't make up stories. I am not surprised you believe everything you read, but I am shocked you're posting this without understanding the consequences. Does that sound more like the DMs that Ian Garry sent, or does the message that Ian Garry sent to Guru sound more like the DMs that Ian Garry sent to Sean Strickland? Now, Sean Strickland thinks he's responding to Ian Garry, all right? So he says, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy trying to help a cuck. That's what he said. Sue me? Get in line, motherfucker. There are a few in front of you. I would have respected you more if you threatened violence against me, but I guess this makes sense, cuck. And then the response to that from Ian Garry, what Sean Strickland just wrote, the response to that is, Sean, what you're doing is spreading hate, lies, and harassment. I'm helping you. Also, does this give you some insight into her personality? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, that, to me, seems very telling about her personality. I'm not saying that as a good or a bad or other. She is used to persuading people, period. Thinking that, she's like, I'm smarter than you. Okay, it's Sean Strickland. You also don't have eyeballs on him. He can't see your face. He can't get hypnotized by how hot you are. And so it's like, Sean, what you're doing is spreading hate and lies. He's like, fuck you. He's also probably not intuitive enough to realize he's not talking to Ian Garry. He's probably reading this thinking it's fucking Ian Garry. Like, out of one side of his mouth, I'm going to be the world champion. I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to go to Brazil. I'm going to strangle everyone to death. I'm going to be the greatest of all time. And I don't care about nothing. I do not give a fuck. And then gets on there and he's all, Sean. And he's all, Sean, what you're doing is spreading hate, lies, and harassment. I'm helping you. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's Layla. Okay? For sure. And again, this would probably have been pretty persuasive if you could see that super hot face, but you can't. I just cannot stress this enough. If you actually file a defamation lawsuit against anyone, especially YouTubers who are not known for having lots of resources, it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. 100%. If you think that's going to dissuade people from putting out information on you, it's not. I'm a YouTuber. I am being fair to you right now. I hate calling myself that. I am a creator on YouTube. I'm also a lot of other things. But bottom line, just as a person who is trying to be objective here and give you a fair shake, as I will continue to do throughout this video, for me, you start suing people, especially people who can't defend themselves, then we're going to have a problem. And if you want to review what that problem looks like coming from me, you can go and review my videos that I did about Logan Paul once he started bragging about bankrupting Dylan Dennis on Twitter. See if you can find any other videos of me opening a person's chest like I did his. I don't fuck around with that, dude. It wasn't that long ago. I remember what that's like. I tell you I have resources to defend lawsuits now, I do. But not that long ago, I didn't. And if someone would have came with a lawsuit, it would have crushed my family, or at the very least would have put such an absolutely enormous amount of stress on me that who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, like, I wasn't saying like, I would have eaten a bullet. Oh my God. Not like that. But like, you can't do that to people. You have inconvenient information on the internet that people are drawing potentially false conclusions from. That's unfortunate. Okay. It doesn't merit crushing people financially. All you're going to do is embolden people who are smart enough to know that you have absolutely no case for defamation whatsoever, like me. This is me being nice. This is me trying to help you and tell you that all of the things that are happening are good for Ian Garry. This is all fantastic for Ian Garry's career. Right up until you start suing people and sending messages from his accounts and embarrassing him. Suing people is embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing. He doesn't want to be associated with you suing fighters, okay? At least, you know what? I take that back. I am going to say that if Ian Garry really is his own man still, then for 100% sure, and if he has any control over this, he is going to tell you, you can't sue these guys. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm a UFC fighter, okay? I'm a UFC fighter. You think I'm going to let my wife fucking sue another UFC fighter because he said nasty things about? No. Now, I wouldn't talk to my wife like that, and I wouldn't even suggest he talks to her like that. But that's the message that you could communicate. Like, if it were my wife that was doing so, I would tell her, and look, like, just so we're clear, my wife looks like her, okay? My wife's a hard 10. We're not talking about some, like, different caliber of girl here. And I would sit down with Gabrielle, and all of you guys have seen me interact with Gabrielle, and I would go, look, I understand you're upset. I get it. But this is one of those things we're going to have to handle this my way. This is combat sports. You married into this. I realize, you're used to having control around the house because you're much older than me, but bottom line, you're not suing anyone over this. That's not a thing that's going to happen. I'm not going to have my name associated with lawsuits over people speaking nasty things on the internet. If I've got a problem, I'll punk them myself. If it's a fighter, I'll go win the welterweight champion and I won't forget, and I'll go to middleweight and I'll decapitate Sean Strickland. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. Or maybe I'll just go to Extreme Couture and I'll hard spar him. He loves hard sparring. Maybe I'll kick him in his fucking face. There's absolutely no way that you are filing any fucking lawsuits against him and filing defamation to YouTube. Come on. Okay? Like, really? Really? Continuing on, here is what Strickland did about, or what his video was after reading the DMs.
Y'all will not believe what just happened. So I'm a homie, right? And I send Ian Garry a message. And I'm like, bro, hey, here's the thing, man. Dicks before chicks, dude. I know you're going through some shit right now. I know that fucking you got preyed upon. I know all this shit, bro. And I'm here for you. Just give me a call if you need me. And this motherfucker, he says, I'm going to sue you if you don't fucking delete that. You're going to sue me, motherfucker. He said that I was lying. Motherfucker, I ain't lying. You are 26. She is 40. She wrote a fucking book on how to be old and be with a young athlete. I ain't fucking lying, bro. This is factual. And Ian Garry, I don't give a fuck about being sued. You think I give a fuck about that? You want me to respect you. You say that I'm gonna go fucking to Bass Pro Shop, wherever the fuck you go, I'm gonna go buy a 9, I'm gonna handle this like a man.
Jesus.
I would have respected that. I don't fucking respect that. But hey, I fucking expect nothing else from a man like you. Y'all will not believe what just happened. So
Two things. I just saw this. I didn't even. I talked to Guru yesterday about the situation, and I don't know. Like, Guru's an exceptional YouTuber. He's a hell of a lot younger than me. So when it comes to this kind of thing, like with they're threatening lawsuits, I feel like I have some wisdom I could share with like buddies of mine. And I told him, you have nothing to worry about. There is absolutely no merit whatsoever to a defamation charge. And Sean Strickland, if you didn't know that, you also have nothing to worry about. And Red Pill MMA, I talked to him a bunch today. And he's super concerned because of, why would he not be concerned? He got a notice from an organization that pays him money that a defamation thing is being enforced. So to all of you guys, there is no case here, okay? Unless there is some information that's been put out that I'm not privy to. But the MMA Guru's video that I watched, unless there's something about that is not factual, that's the information they should be putting out. Like, as an example, if the ex-husband doesn't live with them, it would be pretty tough to prove that defamed you if he is, in fact, the nutritionist, which he is. Okay? He is Ian Garry's nutritionist. And if he lives with you on the road when you travel, even if that's the only time he lives with you, you have a tough time with defamation. Anyway, so the whole thing about go get a 9, dude. Listen, okay? Listen. I just got my car stolen last week or whatever, and I told you guys exactly how that went down. I went and got my own car. I had a gun on me when I went there because I was scared because they had my gun that they stole out of my car. Okay, I was never intending on shooting anyone if I saw them. I wasn't going there to shoot the thieves. I was going there to protect myself in case the thieves shot at me while I was retrieving my car. And if you listen to all of the videos that I've ever done, okay, talk a lot of shit on this channel. I mean, in every single example, very honestly, I don't just talk shit to talk shit. It's not like fun for me just to talk shit. But if you go real close, you're going to have a very hard time finding anything where I made a claim of violent dominance over anyone. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb. If you're going to say it, just go do it. You know what I mean? That's how I rolled when in every aspect of any kind of violence that I've ever been involved in, I never talked about it. It just happened. Because if you tell someone you're going to do it, like, it's just dumb. Just don't fucking talk about it. Now, in Ian Garry's case, he could say, I'll tell you what, we can figure this out like men. I'll be down at Extreme Couture because they can spar. They'll probably like each other afterwards. You know what I mean? There's an intimacy there when you fight a guy. So maybe that. But go get a 9 and shoot it. I mean, come on. And now we're going to look at the final portion of this video, which is the wedding announcement that's on the internet. Full article about the original wedding between her and her ex-husband, along with a bunch of pictures from the event. Now, why are we looking at this? A, context. B, I want you, Layla Ann-Lee, or Ian Garry, I don't think Ian Garry cares about this, but Layla, just look at this through the eyes of a regular person who does not know you guys, okay? They don't know you. Optics. You're 39 or whatever. Ian Garry is 26 or whatever. And you have an ex-husband who is at the very least his nutritionist. Okay? Like, this is your ex-husband and this is Ian Garry, right? That's who this is. And here is you and your ex-husband. Now look at the two pictures in contrast. Ian Garry and your ex-husband on the right. You and your ex-husband on the left. I don't understand. Like, how could this be mysterious? Why people find this story salacious? I don't have any idea what's going on in your household. None. I have no idea what's going on. What I know is that I know that to anybody who's just objectively looking at it, they're like, wait, really? Really? Now, if Ian Garry's cool with it in terms of whatever is going on, it is what it is, dude. He might be young, but he is a grown-up. He can make his own decisions. But, you know, I mean, there's a reason why people think this is weird. Okay? Like, bottom line, look at this, okay? So this is this is from 2015. Just for the record, this is 8 years ago, right? TV presenter, but like, you just read the article, though. Just reading the article itself. And it's like, they're talking about how she allowed him to help choose the wedding dress because, you know, I don't know. They didn't want to just fall into the traditional, whatever, you know, norms. And what's the first thing? What does he say? It's like, well, naturally, the first words that he had to the seamstress were tied around the bum and the bust. Really want to get a nice look at those tits and ass, you know? And yeah, I am definitely talking about your wife, Ian Garry, and now you want to hire me. Like, do you know what I mean? If you guys are all cool, you and this guy who wanted to make it tight around your tits and ass, if you guys are just best friends and there's no sexual chemistry there anymore, fine. Fine. But everything you put on the internet is there in permanent pen. Like the fact that you guys got matching tattoos on your ring fingers. So you and your ex-husband have matching tattoos on your ring fingers, and now you're married to someone who is 26 years old, and your ex-husband, this guy with the matching lifelong tattoos, let's just say he doesn't live with you, travels with you, is with you and your husband all the time. I cannot stress this enough. This would never fly with me. Not because I don't trust my wife, it's just bad policy, in my opinion. Now, I would imagine, like I said, I'm going to be fair to you guys in this video, and I'm gonna just actually make myself big to say the following, then we're gonna review the rest of this. I understand a narrative where all of this makes sense. I do. I understand it. Family is important. You have children with both these guys. You want the children to grow up together. You want them to be siblings. You want them to be tight. That's why he took the last name, so they all have the same last name. And then also, the kids that you have over here are now going to be living with these guys. It's a big mixed family and everything is grand. And you've convinced Ian Garry that the proximity that the kids have with each other is the most important factor. And the fact that this guy has such an intimate history with you is just not important. You know, it's just not important. Now, I wouldn't consider myself like a jealous person. Like, I trust Gabrielle 100%. 100% trust Gabrielle. I mean, through so many tests that she's passed, it's unbelievable. Tests she didn't know she was being tested on. Passed every single one, flying colors. She's never shown me even nothing. She's never lied to me, actually. And believe me, I would catch her. And nonetheless, trusting her 100%, you think that I'm going to go on the road and leave her with someone who has ever said things like, I want it real tight on her ass. And I really want to see her tits real nice. I want to see them. Fuck no. Okay? Absolutely not. That's my wife. I'm not letting that. There's nothing. I'm not going to threaten my family for anything. Okay? Like, look at this, dude. Look at. Okay? Like, and I'm not doing this to be a dick. I'm really not. I'm really not doing this to be a dick. I am just saying that acting as if people are surprised by this story is just weird. Like, like I said, I understand you're prioritizing the kids' proximity to each other, growing up together, over the fact that most men would probably not be super comfortable with this dude living in their fucking house with their wife. You know what I mean? Matching ring tattoos, dude. Matching ring tattoos. Yeah, I mean, I can understand. Like, what? Why would he be concerned? 8.5 years ago is a lifetime ago. I get it. But nonetheless, this person ain't living in my fucking house with my wife. That is never going to happen. I see this picture, never going to happen. Never in 1 million years. I've never seen a picture of my wife like that with anyone. Now, am I naive enough to think that like my wife was like a virgin before she met me? Of course not. But I've never seen a picture like that of her with a dude who I was in the same room with ever. And he certainly would not be that close to me, period. The only time I've ever met, as a matter of fact, dude, the only time I've ever actually met one of Gabrielle's previous like sexual partners, I was a fucking asshole to him. I was drunk as fuck though. And it was also really early in our relationship. It was before we were married, I think. It was like, but I was such a fucking asshole to this guy. And I don't even know why. I just was like, oh yeah. Yeah, I met him twice actually. We were just randomly at some like New Year's Eve party and he happened to be there. And then at some other thing in Palm Desert, I was a complete fucking prick to him both times. I mean, I wouldn't be now, dude. I don't give a shit now. But like, yeah. Nonetheless, he turned into a woke ass pussy too. She's like, now, you know, like we've like looked him up. He's a San Francisco wokey fuck, and he still wouldn't live in my house. Anyway, that's probably enough. I love you guys, and I really am not. This was not meant to be some kind of big hater video. This is just what it is. So I love everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.